Good morning, Shepard, Mr. Wingert, all of the county staff who are represented here, all of the leadership, and all of our visitors who are here. I want to welcome you to the set of meetings that we have here this morning. Like I usually explain, how we go into these meetings is we usually have a prayer first, and then after that we go to our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we go into the different meetings that we have set for us. So given that, gentlemen, ladies, let's go ahead and have the prayer. Mr. Devin Brown will say our prayer, and our county manager, Mr. Wingert, will do our pledge, lead us in our pledge.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful we live in this great country. Grateful for those in the armed services fighting to protect us. Pray we can make wise decisions here and know how to best serve the citizens of Apache County. And say this in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Ready? Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doyle's on the phone.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown and Mr. Wingard. Good morning, Mr. Shambly.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Doing all right, sir. We're coming down to business. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, good, sir. Okay, with that, gentlemen, ladies, let's go ahead and call the county's Public Health Services District meeting to order at this time. We do have an item on the agenda. Item number 1, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Shirley, Mr. Shepard,
Morning.
and Mr. Shamley. The Apache County Public Health Services District requests discussion and possible approval of the delegation agreement with the Arizona Department of Health Services to authorize the Apache County Public Health Services District to perform inspections of certain fixed establishments and enforce public health laws. This is not new. It's we've had this delegation for years, and it allows local inspection of establishments, also local interaction with the establishment owners and operators, and keeps control right here in Apache County instead of at the state level having state inspectors come up and inspect facilities and enforce state law.
Gentlemen, what are your wishes?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the Health Services District meeting at this time.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. With that, the Public Health Services District meeting is hereby adjourned. Okay, let's go ahead and call the Library District meeting to order at this time. We do have 3 items on the agenda. Item number 1.
Good morning.
Morning.
Supervisors, how are you?
Good.
All right.
Okay, first item, discussion and possible approval of community representatives, proposed budget, and strategic planning process for the Greer Memorial Library.
Okay, gentlemen.
So move, just a quick question.
Sure.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Mr. Shepard, question?
Just kind of enlighten real shortly on the community representatives, I guess one, and then the other highlighting the proposed budget if you will, please.
What we do, there is the list that you have there that is a general list that we try to get someone from every area for that if we possibly can. And so what we've done, the list that we've given you includes all areas. And then the ones that are listed underneath are where we were able to find participants that would help us with this. And some of the groups aren't filled because there's just not any representative from that group in a certain, in that community. Okay, and the budget is basically we have 2 meetings when we meet with these community members. And there's usually from 12 to 14 members if we can possibly get that many to attend, because they're committing a great deal of time. They're committing about 12 hours of their time to help us with this process. And so they come in and we provide them with coffee and water and snacks as well as a lunch, because it does run from 9 in the morning until 2, 3 in the afternoon on 2 different days. So.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, I don't know if there are any other questions, discussion. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. It's unanimous that we go ahead and do that, so item number 1 is approved. Item number 2?
2 and 3 kind of go together. I know that they're separate, but basically what we're asking for, I'll read the item in just a moment. What we're asking for is to to quit going out to contract for our cleaning of our libraries, to create a position, full 24-hour position, and then also to increase the hours of our facilities manager so that he can help with that process. So the first item reads, discussion and possible approval of the creation of a custodian position, range 18 at 24 hours per week at $10 per hour, and permission to fill a vacancy.
So move, Mr. Chairman. Approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Item number 3?
Discussion and possible approval to increase the hours of Dale Hoyt, Facilities and Construction Supervisor, from 32 hours per week to 40 hours per week at a cost of $8,899.32. That includes the EREs. This increase in hours is needed to train and supervise new hire, as well as take on the cleaning of various libraries. The estimated savings with the new hire and the increased hours is approximately $20,000.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the library district meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. So with that, the county's library district meeting is hereby adjourned. Now let's go ahead and call the county's Board of Supervisors meeting to order at this time, gentlemen. We do have several items on the agenda. Item number 1, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. We have items A through F, and we would recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. So with that, item number 2, Mr. Patterson.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Item 2 is discussion and possible approval to change the purchasing policy competitive bidding to align with the state statutes, changing the bidding from $50,000 to $100,000. And we recommend approval.
So move, Mr. Chairman, for approval.
Okay, motion to approve. Is there a second? Is there a second? I'll go ahead and second the motion, gentlemen. So we do have a live motion at this time to approve item number 2 as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, two approving and one opposing. The particular item is hereby approved. Okay, with that, gentlemen, let's go to item number 3, Mr. Patterson.
Item number 3, discussion and possible approval to pay off the Greater Arizona Development Loan, known as GADA, in the amount of $2,920,000 as of July 3rd, 2017. Chairman, members of the board, this would save the county over $750,000 in interest over the life of the loan and about $370,000 a year in payments. And we would recommend approval.
Thank you. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Gentlemen, are there any questions or discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so item number 4, Mr. Patterson.
I apologize. There's 3 in a row here. Discussion and possible approval to engage services of REW to write financials for the fiscal year 2016 and 2017 audit. Gentlemen, chairman, members of the board, this has been done over the last several years. The county went out to look for an individual to do this and hire someone for this position to be able to write these financials, and we couldn't find anyone qualified to be able to do it. So we continue with this effort with this contract.
Okay, gentlemen?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and go to item number 5, Ms. Lazerto.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Good morning.
This item
Morning.
is discussion and possible acceptance or rejection of bid number 137-17 for the Alpine Streetlights CDBG project, and I recommend that we reject the bid as presented.
Okay, gentlemen, recommendation is to reject the bid that has been presented. What are your wishes?
I make a motion, we reject the bid.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, just for questions.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the recommendation and reject the bid as presented by Ms. Bazerto. Mr. Shepherd, question?
Thank you. Just quickly on the recommendations for rejection. Just a bit confused on it. It says in here to accept or reject, so just kind of concerned or had a question on why we're rejecting these as far as a CDBG grant.
When we opened the bid, we had already had agenda review, so I had to put something in here, but we only had one bid, and it was about quite a bit over the budget that we have allocated under the CDBG project, so I'd rather go out to bid again and see if we can get something lower on this one.
How much over?
About 35,000. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. With that, the bid is hereby rejected. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see. Okay, item number 6, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Number 6 is discussion and possible approval of a liquor license application recommendation. This is for acquisition of control for Kelly Ann Holtmeyer Brazier. They own the farmhouse at Concho Creek. This is located at 7 County Road in Concho. We have not received any protest regarding this, and we'd recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen.
I make a motion, we approve, Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, item number 7, Mr. Winger.
Yes, number 7 is discussion and possible approval of a liquor license application recommendation. This is a transfer for Denise Tilford for the Molly Butler's Lodge. This is in Greer. She's the new owner of Molly Butler's. And we have not received any letters of protest and would recommend approval.
Okay, gentlemen.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the particular item as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. Okay, item number 8, Mr. Wingard.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this item is regarding a resolution and a designation of a point of contact for the Hidden Heroes Program who support Apache County's military and veteran caregivers. Just as a point, today is June 6th, which was the anniversary of the D-Day invasion during World War II into Europe by the Allies. Now, this resolution, I'd like to read a portion of it. It's a fairly short resolution, but I think it's important. The title is Hidden Heroes Resolution in Support of Apache County's Military and Veteran Caregivers. It says, whereas a series of wars and conflicts in which our nation has been engaged over time since World War II has resulted in 5.5 million military and veteran caregivers who are parents, spouses, siblings, and friends, caring for those wounded, ill, or injured who have served our nation, as documented by the 2014 RAND study commissioned by the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. And whereas the daily tasks of these military and veteran caregivers can include bathing, feeding, dressing, and caring for the grievous injuries of wounded warriors, administering medications, providing emotional support, caring for the family and the home, and working outside the home to earn essential income. And whereas the nation provides multifaceted support to our wounded, ill, and injured veterans and service members through public, private, and philanthropic resources, but their caregivers receive little support or acknowledgement. And whereas most military and veteran caregivers consider the challenging work they do as simply carrying out their civic and patriotic duty without realizing they are in fact caregivers and do not identify themselves as such. And whereas an alarming number of military and veteran caregivers, according to research, are suffering numerous debilitating mental, physical, and emotional effects as a result of their caregiving duties. And whereas the Board of Supervisors of Apache County desires to recognize and support those who are serving in these vital roles in our own community. Therefore, be it resolved that the Apache County Board of Supervisors, number 1, that Apache County becomes a Hidden Heroes community in support of military and veteran caregivers. 2, that Apache County seeks to identify military and veteran caregivers residing in our community. 3, that Apache County work to ensure that our government, organizations, employers, and nonprofits are aware of the unique challenges of military and veteran caregivers and are encouraged to create supportive environments and opportunities for assistance. 4, that Apache County plan and observance each May during Military Appreciation Month and Month of the Military Caregiver to honor and recognize the community's military and veteran caregivers in partnership with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation's National Hidden Heroes campaign. 5, that Apache County encourage all who care for and support veterans and service members to extend that support to their caregivers. And lastly, number 6, that Apache County designate a point of contact for our community from the public or private sector for citizens and organizations wanting to offer support and caregivers who need that support. Mr. Chair, members of the board, we recommend approval of the resolution, and we recommend that Supervisor Shamley be the point of contact for our county.
Okay, gentlemen, there you heard it. What are your wishes?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion also to designate Mr. Shambley as our point of contact.
Okay, motion to approve and to designate Mr. Shamley as a point of contact. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the resolution as presented and appointing Mr. Shamley to be the point of contact for the Hidden Heroes. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. Okay, gentlemen, it looks like we've gone the gamut of our agenda. Didn't get no notification on under item number 9, so with that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the County Board of Supervisors meeting.
Motion, Mr. Chairman?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn the County Board of Supervisors meeting at this time, gentlemen. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye, it's unanimous that we go ahead and do that. So with that, the Board of Supervisors meeting is hereby adjourned.